Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P Farm. Thinking right out here in my lab, and I'm in the book. So what we got here? The Nile Valley Contribution to Civilization. This is an old book, and I'm reading, studying. I'm having flashbacks from what I used to know, what I thought, to what I know now. It's a whole different ball game, but this is good information. I'm having fun. I'm teaching now. This is what I mean by teaching. I'm giving you what I call useful information about you. Let's go. Radisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's get busy. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to attain that goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I get through, because that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock. I'm here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and two might not be true. It's about 6 in the morning. My roosters are crowing 5:45, so they right on time. I wonder when they're gonna start. So that's right. That tell you I'm up early. There you go. That's right. Let's talk about right thinkers. Let's talk about the Nile Valley religion. Christians. I'm about to bang, 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 bang. I'm about to shoot you up with the truth. That's all. No disrespect, none of that. No, just the truth. You can do with it what you will, okay? But it's the truth, and these are facts. These ain't assumptions. These are facts. That's right. From the beginning of time, Africans have always had a belief in one God. Everything's from the one, and He's self-created and all-powerful, all-knowing, all-present. We got that title. That's what God means. Ain't but one of them. Don't need but one. Come on. Everything comes from that one. Everything will go back to that one. Our ancients understood this. So I get animated because we really don't get the message. So let me try to drive it home for you. And upon observing the wonders of the universe, man began to see the many manifestations of that one creator. We call him that for a reason, reflecting what? In all that exists, and identified them as aspect of what? The one we call nature, nurture. But this monotheistic viewpoint saw everything as what? Part of the whole, from the one. Everybody said we worship many gods. No, the one God from one came to many. This is the one. Everything else came in pairs. You can conceptualize it, dramatize it, mythologize it, but it's just facts that you can understand and move on. Stop with the, well, he said this, he said that. What works for you? That's what you should be doing. That's my right thing philosophy for anybody. If you want to be a Christian, follow the Christian concept and be a good Christian. I ain't got a problem with that. You can be a right thinker, follow my right thinking philosophy, and you'll benefit. Same thing about Christian, Muslim, ain't no difference. It's just we are following philosophy. That's all. But you got to what? Practice it. That's how you get better. And the nurture is not God. Understand this. Nature, which is nature, all the elements of God is of God, not God itself, but of God. We're gonna break it down again. My job is trying to give it to you. Hope you understand it. When I was learning this 20 some years ago, Man, I was just all in. I was all in. I was all in. Now it makes a whole lot more sense. So I'm trying to get you to get the concept and put your work in. But watch this. Nature is not God. Why? It is an integral part of that which is God. Similarly, like a transmission is not the automobile. But you can't have an automobile without what? The transmission. So the transmission is what? It's not the automobile, but it is an essential component, part to the function of the actual automobile. You get the concept? Now, as is every part of the vehicle. Brakes is the brakes. Steering wheel is the steering wheel. Everybody play a role. God put everything into existence for that purpose, and you have a role. Play your role. And when you're doing that, everything should work. Attempts to portray our African religion as polytheistic, meaning more than one God, anthropomorphic. And we use, I just gave the breakdown of the headgear. Now, they done took our anthropomorphic concept. Look at that. You know what that is? That's the mascot for the Chicago Bulls. Dominating, fearful. But they taking our concept with the head of a bull, put it on the man's body to signify Chicago Bulls, So I get it. They playing the game with it. But we used it for what I call, and what the Masons, as a more noble and glorious purpose. The intent was to get you to understand the concept of the bull. Okay? His virility, his power, his strength. Yeah, they got all that, right? But they just used it for a different purpose, not the glorious one. They want to get their fans all hamped up and got up. So I get it, I understand it. I've got a little, let me read that for you right quick. I want to get to that before we're going to do anthropomorphism, what they claim we worship. No, we just put the head of the falcon, the ibis bird. Okay, every head, we got a crocodile head person. We got what? Every aspect. In the head is where it's at. In the head, it's all mental. Woosah. But being part, now attempts to portray them as what? Polytheistics and anthropomorphic. Let me read the anthropomorphic little quick side note over here about how they use them as mascots. Watch this. When you hear Denver Nuggets, the Denver football team, who are they? Broncos. Let's go. The anthropomorphic representation of the NFL and NBA team mascots and the naming of the sports teams are what? Animals, right? Chicago Bulls, Denver Nuggets, Atlanta Falcons. There you go, right there. Does not represent animal worship. No, it's just a mascot. See how you can understand, identify with that? But y'all get all bent out of shape when you see it from a religious educational perspective, esoteric teaching lessons that y'all we don't know they got the heads. But you do it on your teams. Moving on. You take it with no problem. All right. That was the point. It don't represent animal worship. On the contrary, these animals merely symbolize. There we go again. It's all symbolization. And symbolize the attributes that the owners want to project into what? The consciousness of their team and their fans. Watch this. This is going to blow your mind. I didn't get this a long time ago, but this is a perfect concept. Imagine anthropologists from 3,000 years from now, and they just digging up what? The remains of Washington, D.C., where they got the zoo, right? They're uncovering a national zoo and discovering that they had hundreds and thousands of animals that had been sheltered, fed in this facility, while they had other hundreds and thousands of homeless persons walking the streets. They ain't gonna understand how they took care of the animals and let the people go astray. See that? I didn't catch that when I was reading it a long time ago. Didn't even see it like that. Now I'm looking. Yeah, picture that. They took better care of the damn animal. But how about this? Our ancients, they mummified birds, cats, and any other animal that they wanted. Why? Significant, symbolically. Everything was symbolical. They understood what they was doing. We keep pictures around. We keep stuff around. Symbolical. It means something to you. We got shrines. We got a little memorials everybody built. It means something to you. That's what. And we knew that a long time ago. It's okay. And watch this. They let the people walk the streets, but they took care of the animals. But without the knowledge of the role of the zoo, They don't see it that way. They just see it. They took care of these and let them go. See? In the 20th century society that we live in now, the social scientists and the future might believe that this structure was what? A multi-million-dollar temple complex built for the adoration of animal worship. Misunderstanding, misinterpretation. Again, 3,000 years from now, they will have a whole different perspective about what we're doing, how we do it, or why we're doing it. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. The ancients took care of their animals. They was mummifying the alligators, mummified the crocodiles, the ibis bird, cats. So they had a symbolical concept, and everybody did the same thing. But right here it says, and they thought they had $1 million complex built for adoration of animals at the time where humans were allowed to suffer. They saw it a different way, or they will see it a different way. And I understand that. We're doing it right to this day. Okay, so it haven't changed, it won't change. But we got to get better at what? Understanding the simplicity and the different concepts that they thought. We don't know how they thought. We just got the remnants of that. I get it, I understand that. And the more I study, the more I learn, I'm getting better at understanding that. So that's my job, to try to get it simplified so it can make sense to you. That's all. Use it. This is good stuff. All right, let me get back to the lesson. Now, they had a guy. Now, they tried to make it look bad. So in modern religion, y'all have angels, archangels, messengers, saints, prophets who carry out roles similar to those of the natural from our ancient ancestors. So understand, it's about to get good. Here we go. Now, references to your boy Jesus the Christ. Christ means the anointed one, not his last name. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, he was, they could say the Christ as the Lamb is just in what? Anthropomorphic sign as Amun associates with the ram. Reference to the Spirit of God as what? A dove. Y'all use the snake. All this stuff references, it's all symbolical. That's what symbolism is. To purpose to teach mythological, allegorical stories is to educate, to enlighten, and give you reason and purpose to do, and you will make it happen. That's manifestation of you taking the lesson. And just as the dove as what? Another anthropomorphic as Hadu, which is Hathor, associated with the cow. The cow was a regal concept back then. Why? She was a giver of life to others. They fed off of that. And when the cow jumped over the moon, Rob told her, take me to Newt. Okay, what? Heaven. Newt represents heaven. And we're about to get into that concept. Where y'all get it from? I know. Do you? So I'm going to give you some original concept. And Christians say, oh, no, this is where it come from. It didn't come from y'all. Y'all didn't start nothing. First of all, not to be disrespectful, just get enlightenment. This is what I mean. I'm teaching now, so let's go. John Anthony West, great mythological person, he provided the following commentary on two fundamental aspects of the Cometians and their world religion. Creation myths, right there. We tell you they're myths and the role of man. They gave you a breakdown and understanding. That's all I've been trying to get you to see. The Egyptian religion may be divided into what they call two distinct but complementary and intertwined themes. What you mean? You got the creation of the universe, when God thought everything into existence. That's the creation story from their father. And the creation of what? Man. We got a few different stories of how man created. Some say from Ra's tears, some say from Newt and Geb come together, putting our sorrow. But whatever it is, man has a role to play in what? The universal scheme of things also. Animals can't worship God. I tell my philosophy, God made man so that man can make God what? Important. The animals didn't worship God. The animals didn't praise God. The animals didn't give a crap about how they living, righteous, unrighteous. None of that meant nothing. See where we're going with this? It's a concept. And the Egyptians expressed their religious ideas. How? Through myth. Unlike Christianity, y'all tell real stories. Y'all don't do myths. Y'all, everything y'all say is real. And symbolism, signs and symbols for a reason, and not through physiological explanation, philosophical explanation. No, we gave you symbolism and myth for a reason. And in many ways, the myth and the symbol are superior means of what? Teaching for expressing the metaphysical concepts, meaning anything that's mental. That's why I dwell. But it is first necessary to be privy, meaning enlightened, have knowledge of, to what? To the inner meaning, the esoteric messages of the symbolic language that's employed. Our ancients is breaking down the brain. Yeah, okay. Moving on. And the keys to the Egyptian diet with their religion. Why? They stopped practicing it. They stopped teaching it. So it died out. Like anything else. If you don't take care of it, what? Only thing that don't need no structure and taking care of is the pyramids. They still there. They ain't went nowhere. 7 wonders of the 6 then died by the way of Sandusky. Time caught up with them. They said everybody feared time. Time feared the pyramids. Okay, that's the concept. And that's why the subject is so prone to controversy. Everybody got something to say about something that's mythological or philosophical. That's what I said. I don't run around telling anybody I'm a philosopher. Why? Everybody got a philosophy. Who gives a damn about yours? And even that right thing philosophy, nobody gives a damn. But the few who do, I appreciate you. But other than that, I'm good with that. Why? It means something to me. That's the difference. But now here we go. In both the Nile Valley accounts of the Christian account, ready? God is self-created, uttered himself into existence, creates heaven and earth. Now, we know that to be what? Newt represents heaven, earth represents God. We're born on earth. When we die, we want to go back to Newt. That's heaven. That concept came from our ancient ancestors, so I just want to put that out there. That's where we get started. He created heaven and earth by what? Making the heavens and creating the earth. Simple. And at one time, there was a love embrace, so he couldn't do work on earth. Why? They'd separate. So air, which is shoe, separate them. They do the picture with him pushing up on Newt, star covered lady, covered the earth, the dome, the fermentation. Y'all just take all these symbolism and just don't really understand them. You think you do believe, but y'all so far wrong. Why? Because you won't learn and you still think what you got is good and it's wrong. So I ain't got no problem with that. Y'all will keep telling the same story, keep doing the same thing. But let me say this to you. The concept of heaven and earth, we had that figured out a long time. What's between heaven and earth? Air. That's shoe. So we can walk on, Get supplies us with nutrition, agriculture. Y'all look at Mother Nature as the female. No, heaven is Mother Nature. Why? We come from there, and all we want to do is what? Go back. So the spirit wants to go back home. God said the only time he walked with us, he got pissed off, said, no, I don't want to deal with y'all. So only one that comes see me in heaven, my house, many rooms, will have to what? Pass the scales, feather my yacht at Judgment Day. Then wait, yeah, I know you covered. I know you're good. That's it forever. That's immortality. That's how you get to God. Philosophical, conceptually, that they believe that was the concept. And what's this? When you have knowledge, okay, and they broke it down for you real easy. They divided the heaven and earth, and he divided what? The waters, creates the light, let there be, okay, and he separated from what? Darkness. If he separated light from darkness, what was first? What's passing the speed of light? Dark. And what's this? Creates man. After all that, everything was already done in place. Shu was already here. Moisture already here. Get, Newt already here. Mayat already in place. Tahuti just waiting to do what he got to do for us to enlighten us. The eye, the consciousness, all of that was here before man came. And the story goes, when he sent out Tahuti with his eye of conscience to go find Shu and Tafnut was his kids, the first twins. He came back, and when they came back, God cried, and from the tears came man. So it's all kind of stories. You can take and pick whichever one you want. But ideas, it ain't about the story. It's about understanding the story and manifesting for yourself to get to know yourself, a.k.a. God. And the parallels between, what's this? The two religious systems are numerous. What you mean? And striking. Why? Because much of the early research of Kemet was conducted by what? Christians. Historical information was doctored to suit their particular religious beliefs. That's why I tell all you Christian followers, all you Bible lovers, spare me all of that. Why? I know better. So I'm not caught up. I'm not going to argue and fuss and fight about that. Moving on. John G. Jackson gives us an example. The Professor James Henry Broussard, who was born 1865, died 1935, considered the civilization of Kemet as the oldest in the world. But watch this. He only dates it back to what? 3,400, no, excuse me. The first dynasty, 4,700 BCE. No. Okay, but that's his concept. So if these dates are correct, and we know now that not what? The Great Pyramid would have to have been erected before creation. But the pyramid is older than 4,000 years old. And so with the Sphinx. Okay, that's what they're trying to tell you. Those numbers can't be right. And of the world according to what? The Christian chronology. Y'all don't know jack. I ain't here to argue that. Moving on. Let's tell the truth. Here's something you need now. Now's when you should be paying attention, okay? Because the people of the Nile Valley were the first human beings to express a profound belief system in a doctrine of everlasting life, aka afterlife. If nobody ever died and came back and told us about the afterlife, how can we have a concept? It's a theology. Numbnuts. That's called the religion you practice. It's not same thing. Theology. It ain't true. It ain't real. It's just somebody's idea. Theology. You like it? I chose the Egyptians. I keep telling you that all the time. Pick what works for you. Me living my Egyptian philosophy doesn't right by me. I get blessed on a daily basis. Moving on. So they preserved what? The bodies of the dead. Now, they thought the spirit was going to come out to the body. I don't agree with that one, but that's what they believe. Again, they didn't know, but they believed it. If I'm 90 years old and I die, I don't want my spirit to come back to that 90-year-old body. I don't care if you preserved it. I don't want that body. And that didn't happen, so they was wrong about that. Again, they wasn't right about everything. I ain't never said that. They had some flaws in their belief system, but they worked the kinks out. We figured that part out, but they did the best with what they had. They wasn't wrong about too many things. Okay, all right, but yet to be undiscovered, what process of embalming? They had a process that preserved the body. What that was for, I'm still not with that. Okay, that was a really waste of time. Okay, why? Because that misunderstanding about the body and the spirit just got it wrong. Simple as that. I'm not gonna sit into no. I don't make that made no sense to me. Okay, moving on. Don't tell me how the body is for the earth and then you preserve it, save it for what? Put it back in the damn earth. Let it go back to what it needs to be. I ain't got a problem with that. Moving on. Again, but to be entombed in these bodies in what? An elaborate inscribed funerary monuments. For what? For what? Oh, for y'all grave robbers to come dig it up. And y'all call the Book of the Dead. It's got that name because y'all got it from dead people's graves. The book wasn't for the book. The book was coming forth by day. Okay, learning ourselves to get ready for the next life. Y'all took it from dead people's graves. That means y'all grave robbers, tomb robbers. And the prayers and the litanies played a major role in the prayers in preparing what? Your soul for what? For recent departure for its journey through what they call the underworld and guaranteed its safe passage to God in the next world, which is a saw. We tell you, he's sitting on the throne. I'm about to do that lesson right now. I'm going through it again, but this is the lesson that we have for Judgment Day. We had all that figured out. So let me finish this up and I get to that, but I'm loving that part. Why? It breaks a lot of things down that you can just understand. It makes sense. Okay, yeah, I know that. Moving on. Learning lessons. That's this. Okay, so the so-called, what they call the Book of the Dead, was a compilation of what? Of prayers, okay, to God while you was alive that were inscribed on the walls in the tombs, written on papyrus scrolls, which were buried with the dead. How do y'all come across this information? These sacred, okay, sacred means not to be messed with, it's hands off. Pronouncements were discovered by what? Grave robbers. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you. Thank you. So let's stop with we excavators. No, y'all grave robbers. Go dig up some of y'all relatives. Yeah, you like that? So, who violate, again, grave robbers who violated sacred space in these tombs in search of what? Fame and glory, and regarded these writings as what? Books of the dead. Again, they knew that we buried you with all your riches. And when we leave, what they're going to do? Come back and get it. Why should the grave site be guarded by security? Why? They got valuables in there. That's why. And because it's symbolic to you and me. Some the other person, he want the jewels. He want the money, whatever it is. He don't give a damn to me, nothing to him. Okay? Understand that. But we did that for time. Don't do that. I don't want none of this. Oh, Switzer, yeah, you're going to deal with that. But all that, no. Let my book stay here for somebody else can enjoy them. But they ain't going with me. Ain't nothing is going with me. I know that. And guess what? Since I ain't coming back, have at it. Whatever I leave is yours. I ain't coming back. That's my concept with that. Sorry, but that's how I look at it. Where we at? Well, I don't love my damn place talking nonsense. Okay, now. Ooh, okay, now about it. Okay, Kemet, and then I got over here. I'm over here now. According to him, we down here the Book of the Dead. Okay, here we go. Thank you. But these sacred, okay, places were what? Robbed in search of fame. Okay, now, according to Wallace Budge, who ain't my particular guy, celebrated translator of the Book of the Dead. Moving on, I ain't get my opinion about that. But these texts were known to have existed in revised edition and to have been used among the Egyptians from about, you ready? 4500 BCE to the early centuries of the Christian era, which is about 325 BCE. Way after. You get me? So now we know that the Kemites had the concept of Judgment Day, the feather mayat, the judgment. Okay, the scales. But Budge admitted that the correct name of the Book of the Dead, okay, how could he not? We already know that now, is derived from the word per Haru, right there, which has been translated as meaning coming forth by day. That's why they say at death, everybody go to the light. The light is the trap to come back here. Go to the darkness. That's where you come from. And those with knowledge understands that. Those who don't will take, go to the light. Yeah, right back here. Okay. My man say, who's on third? No, who's on first? I don't know on third base. That's where y'all end up, back on third base. And you becoming who? First base. And as a reference to what we call rebirth or resurrection of the soul is the deceased. And it's a concept right there, my word. It's a concept that first exists in the Nile Valley. On that note, I'm gonna rest my case. I'm about to get some good stuff for you. He about to break down the Christian concept and misinterpretation, understanding of what y'all claim that y'all started with you or the dead. But we didn't steal it. We didn't plagiarize the story. Yes, you did. But that ain't the point. I got less to play coming up. Break it down for you where it ain't me saying it. It ain't you saying it. It's the facts that prove out. Let's go. In closing, right thinkers, may you all there to be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I none of my right thinkers who's starting to understand the truth about religion that passed away. I ain't ragging on you. I'm just bringing the truth about it.